Welcome to the Trailblazers podcast, a space where we bring you real stories from people who have chosen their own path, faced challenges head on, and continue to move forward with purpose. Through honest and meaningful conversations, we explore mindsets, life lessons, and the journeys that inspire us to reflect, grow, and take action in our own lives. In this episode, I'm in conversation with Kiran Deep Sandhu, joining us all the way from Malaysia. Kiran is a leadership communication coach, a two-time TEDx speaker, and the creator of the S.P.E.A.K Speak Influence Framework, helping professionals communicate with confidence and lead with real impact. She's also the founder of Leadership Card and a passionate changemaker working across Asia and beyond. But what makes her journey truly powerful is where it began. From being someone who once lost her voice on stage to now helping thousands of leaders find theirs, this is a story of resilience, rediscovery, and purpose. Alongside her coaching work, Kiran is also the founder of GBTC Trust, a non-profit supporting over 7,000 underserved students, giving them access, education, growth, and opportunity. In this conversation, we talk about finding your voice, navigating self-doubt, and why your voice truly matters more than you think. If you have ever held yourself back in a room, you deserve to be in. This episode is for you. Stay tuned to the Trailblazers podcast, and thank you. Welcome to the Trailblazers podcast. This is a space where we sit down and have a conversation with people who have chosen to pave on their own trail. And on the way, they have been inspiring many people to create their own paths. So I'm so excited to welcome you all to today's episode with a dear friend of mine who is joining us from Malaysia. She is none other than Kiran Deep Sandhu. She has an amazing story, and not just one, but actually a lot. And she's here to share about her journey, about her inspirations, about her future plans, and so many more. So I can't wait you all to meet Kiran. Kiran, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you're doing good.
Hi, Sandhya. Thank you so much for inviting me on the Trailblazer podcast. Super excited to be in this conversation with you, as well as serving the people in the best way possible that we can with this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiran. That means a lot to me. Before we get started, I would like to introduce a little bit about you, and then we will get into the conversation. Kiran is a leadership coach, a two-time TEDx speaker, an author, and the creator of the S.P.E.A.K, which means speak, in case you're wondering, influence framework, a framework that's helping professionals across Asia and beyond find their voice and lead with clarity. She's also the founder of GBTC Trust, and I'm very curious to learn more about it. It's a non-profit supporting over 7,000 underserved students in India. But beyond all of this, what stands out for me is her truly amazing story. Because this journey started with losing her voice. And
Mm.
let's get started right over there. And I want to hear directly from you what exactly happened that inspired you to create all this.
Hi, Sandhya. Thank you so much. I think that when my journey as a professional speaker started, I started really going deep into what were my barriers, or what was the real seed, what actually stopped me from speaking up. And that's where I realized that many times we put things into our subconscious mind and forget about it, but they leave such lasting impressions on our life that that impact our progress, our opportunities, our growth. And that incident actually happened in the ninth standard. I remember very clearly. I had just come back from the US, and a few days later, my class teacher told me that, oh, you've been selected for the house debate team. As you're the most talkative person and have an opinion about everything, we think that you will be the best person to represent the house. And I was like, okay. Now, that was probably the first time that I was going to be on stage. Like, I love being on the center of attention. Maybe that's a trait of being a Leo, but I had never been on stage. So I think that maybe as the days approached, it was like maybe 4 days before this whole thing happened. I was like probably preparing, but not feeling very confident. And on the day itself, I show up at the auditorium, and to my horror, first of all, my partner decided not to show up, who was supposed to be on my debate team. So I think that's where the first level of confidence like gone. And then suddenly, my hands started palpitating. I mean, my heart started palpitating, my hands were shivering, my body was shaking. And I went on to the mic, and the voice just didn't come out. And I just stood there looking at all these students who were from all the senior batches, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, standing in front of me, sitting in front of me. And I had completely lost on words. I just could not counter or speak anything. And I just lowered my head and I walked back to the table, back to my seat. And well, I knew I'd lost, but I actually didn't know that I lost my voice that day, because that was one incident. But every time after that, whenever I was asked to come on stage and stand in front of a mic, my voice would just go 10 notches down. I just could not take out that voice from my throat. And things just happened because I couldn't speak. So even though I was an all rounder, I was doing everything, but I could not showcase what I was capable of doing because I didn't have a voice to showcase that. So my confidence was linked with my voice. And that's where I realized that, in life, school finish, I never got a prefix role. I thought I should be the head girl, but obviously, who's going to give you the role of a head girl if you can't speak in front of a crowd? So I went to college, the same thing started happening. And I think that's where I and I mean, I ended up becoming a teacher, and that too really pushed me into finding courage to go back into the classroom, stand in front of a group of kids and start speaking. And I also remember one more little incident, that there was a kid in my, I would say, standard 10, I was teaching, and he had a stammering problem. Like, it was really bad. So when I saw him, I realized that, okay, I don't have a stammering problem, but his stammering is impeding his confidence. And as a result, he can't share his thoughts, his ideas with the world. And as a result, his truest potential can't be shared. So one of the days when he was not in class, before he came in, I spoke to the class and I said, can we work on giving him the space and being patient with him, so that we can slowly help him to build his confidence, so that even if he stammers, he can still share his thoughts slowly. And it was a journey. Initially, he would have long pauses and he would just stay there. And, he would really, probably his inner voice was saying that, can I do it? I'm embarrassing myself. And, we as a team, as a group, were encouraging him. It's okay. We are waiting. It's okay. No problem. I mean, it would delay the class outcome, but it resulted in 6 months working with him consistently, giving him the confidence, where he slowly built that confidence to start speaking up more, clearer, with confidence. And I found my voice through him, where I realized that all my life I had been holding that voice, which was stopping me from sharing my stories and had impeded my opportunities. And today, if I have helped one person find his voice, can the same thing be used with other people who want to share their stories with the world, but are just not feeling comfortable, confident to be able to share it with the world?
That's incredible. I think after listening to that, I feel like thanking the universe for sending
Yeah,
that kid
yeah, yeah,
right
yeah,
into your class so that
absolutely.
you could rediscover your magic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And look at you, what incredible things that you're doing right now after you rediscovered your strength, which was always there, but something was like blocking. But this time, when it came out so powerfully. And there is no looking back after that.
Absolutely. I think we all have been connected. Like I always say, the world, everything is connected, and there has to be a reason for why people come in our life and what's there for us to learn from them. And I think that was, yeah, as you clearly pointed, I'm grateful to all the wonderful people who have been part of my journey, actually, to helping me find my truest self also. And even today, I don't think it's a full potential, but yes, it's a journey of growing each day.
Right, right. And it's beautiful how we both connected as well. I know you're an active member of Malaysia Association of Professional Speakers, and me being part of Professional Speakers Association of India. So we're all connected in this world, and also we are into coaching. So our main mission is, after we rediscovered our purpose, we are trying to inspire others. Great stuff, Kiran. Thank you for sharing that
Thank you.
vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
So, it takes some guts to share that
Yeah.
openly. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Some people will still feel, oh, okay, what will others think if I share such things? So, I think you have done an amazing job sharing that. And I was reading about your story. One thing I stopped, when I read this, I think something during COVID is something you
Mm.
mentioned that, it really triggered a lot of additional things that you wanted to start doing. So could you take us to that point? Like, what is exactly the turning point that you figured out?
Okay, so I think COVID was a very dark time for all of us.
Yes.
We were in this woke world and absolutely uncertainties, stress, anxiety, and helplessness is what I would say really was at the bottom of it. And I think that a individual, we all have to know that after the lowest point, you have to find a way to bounce back. And
Right.
we use the word resilient, or we talk about anti fragile. I didn't know these words really. I mean, we talk about today in our conversation, I'm a very resilient leader, an agile leader. I'm a very anti fragile. I don't think that, these words were a part of our vocabulary. We were just humans who were going through a lot of the word, if I say shit. And I think that when COVID happened, feeling of helplessness. I was in a safe environment, but I was also, my family is all over the globe. So my dad still, he's 92, lives in Nepal, and my siblings, they all live in the US. So we are all very like far from each other. And there was a lot of anxiety because of the fact that we couldn't be together. And I think that point, it was like, how can I help? What can I do? I may be safe in my little home, my little cocoon, but what can I do? So initially, I started helping in making those PVC outfits for the COVID people, like the doctors who were working in the hospitals. I was just like, whatever comes my way. Was I good at stitching? No, I didn't know, but I was just like, whatever I can do. And I realized that whatever I was doing is okay, it's a small thing, one step. I even tried baking. Okay. That was the trend that was, and I don't cook. And I remember very clearly that one day Malaysia has had one of the toughest lockdowns. And I'd just gone to my gate. I have two gates into my house. And I walked outside my gate because I was feeling so claustrophobic. I was feeling like I was in a cage, literally. That I went from one entrance of my gate on from the outside and entered back from the other side. And within like 20 minutes, there were cops down the street who had come to my house because one of the neighbors had informed them that I had actually left the compound, my house, my own house compound. And they gave me a very serious warning with some, and then they just left, but they said that, the next time you do it, we will have to take you in. And I was so frustrated. That made me realize that I can't even go outside my house. And that point, I think that really pushed me into exploring the virtual world. Yeah. And I went in, and I would say literally into the virtual world. I started finding communities. I found a community of speakers, and I started practicing, and I started learning, picking up online classes, because I needed to keep my brain active. If I wanted to be a stable factor for the family, I needed to do it for myself first. So that point, I would say COVID was a dark period for many, but for me, it was new beginnings of many things. I started hanging out with my father every day, and have these virtual calls. And I was like, okay, Papa, what did you do? What did you do? And he would say, okay, I did this. And I said, I'm just going to start recording these sessions, because well, when I released his book, 2 years before that, 87. So I said, okay, I'm going to start recording these stories because they're very important. And what accumulated out of it is actually me writing his story, which
Wow.
I would say is the real trailblazer is actually my father. And
Wow.
it's his story, which is called Roads to the Valley. And I call it, why do I say that he's the real trailblazer? Is because if you can see in this image over here for
Yes.
the audience, okay, so this is when the first time in 1959, he brought 3 trucks from India to Nepal when there were no bridges. And that's why the book is called Roads to the Valley, because that is metaphorical. There were no roads to the valley.
Nice. Nice. That's so cool.
And so bringing the first trucks by putting them onto these little boats, tying them up, and going across the mighty Ganga River.
Mm.
I mean, today I asked him, why did you do it? He said, I was crazy. I would have probably never done it in my sane mind. But when you're youth, you are a risk taker. You want to do something different. You're a change maker. And that one move resulted in actually disrupting the logistic industry in Nepal. Because before that, there were no roads, there was no transportation, and his trucks turned out to be registered as the first transportation company in Nepal in 1959, bringing connectivity between India and Nepal, connecting people, connecting nations, creating job opportunities, movement of people. So I would say that he is the real inspiration of being the trailblazer for in my life. And COVID actually gave me the opportunity to get to know my own father. Before this, I was always watching him from the lens of a daughter. And I always thought that he was somebody who had no time for his family, right? And then when I started writing about him, first through his stories, then talking to leaders, from ministers, community people, everyone whoever I could find, ambassadors to Indian ambassadors who were in Nepal, foreign ministers. The book was actually launched by the Prime Minister of Nepal. The entire cabinet had actually attended this book launch, and that was because of the contribution that he had made to the nation. And I had never known my own father, because we are so stuck in seeing that, oh, he doesn't have time for his family. And I realized a person who is operating at a higher level, where every decision that he makes is for the impact and is for the betterment of his community. He doesn't have to feed one person, he has to look at their safety, their security. That's where I realized that obviously he had a role which was greater than what us normal humans play. I mean, the example was when the earthquake happened in 2012.
Right.
People were leaving Nepal because of the fact that this earthquake had happened. And he was like, get me on the first flight back, because I need to be there on the ground to ensure that the Gurdwara is having the langars operating. We have the shelters for the people so that we can support the Nepalese community, which has been displaced. So I think that really was an eye opener moment for me. So this is just one example of what COVID had done.
Yeah. Just simply wow, amazing. I wish I can meet your dad as soon
Absolutely,
as
you will.
possible and then salute to him.
Absolutely.
Such a powerful story. And actually, I feel lucky that you took the time to talk to your dad, not just that, but actually take notes, get the book published because, I have huge respect to authors because the stories will be like the legendary things that people
Absolutely.
read on and
Yeah.
get inspired, and that's so amazing. And I should really congratulate you for doing that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sandhya. The book is also coming out in Nepalese. The Nepalese version is going to be launched on his birthday this year, and the Punjabi version is also going to be launched because the impact is more than just in the nation, in Nepal
yeah,
itself. It's beyond. So, whether it was, and a lot of people said this is for the global audience, but if it's going to be part of the textbooks for his legacy to continue, because being the first person who brought transportation, it needs to be in Nepalese. So that's what we have worked on this year.
nice, nice. And you should share the links, and I'll get them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for sharing such a beautiful story. And that's why I think I mentioned, right, not just one story, but I know you have a ton of stories each time we meet. It's like, oh my God, when will I have time to even sit, listen to all your stories? So, moving on, Kiran, I'm really, really interested to learn about the leadership card, the KARD and the SPEAK. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? What you
Absolutely.
do with it? Yeah.
So again, leadership card is also a byproduct of COVID.
You.
As
I
I
love
said,
COVID. See, we are all byproducts. Even I'm a byproduct of COVID.
exactly. All the things that I gave birth to, literally, I think before that, was I a hamster on a roll which was just leading life? And then something happened which actually required us to think outside the box just to not only survive, but actually thrive. And I think that was COVID, where really pushed our boundaries to go beyond what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were asking about card, and I actually will take this opportunity to acknowledge someone because he is from PSAI, and my first mentor that I met in COVID was Mr. Siva Palap, and
Well,
yes,
yeah.
and I remember I was stuck in those having his clarity sessions we were going, and I remember him after it was a 2 week program. And after the first week, he said, okay, don't come back to these sessions if you don't have a name card with your name and what you're going to be doing. And I think that, and the vision board that I created with him is still here somewhere. And it really gave me direction to all what I had in my mind, but had not been put onto paper. So it's not that I wasn't leading a life before that. I have been in academics. I was teaching at the university. I had a very successful edu entertainment center in East Malaysia, the first of its kind. But there were things that had happened where, again, we get stuck and we start thinking what next. And I think COVID gave me that pause, and I think Siva came into my life at the right time to help me, really give me that kickstart to say that, okay, look at it from a different lens. And I really take this opportunity to say thank you to him. So he actually was my first mentor.
Nice.
And that card resulted in me coming up by saying, I'm going back into the coaching training space, which I'd already been doing since 2003, but I now put it back again because there was another story why I stopped. So I wrote it down, and in COVID, on the virtual platform where I met other professional speakers, I met a group of people, and they were from different spaces, but we had one thing in common, which was leadership. And the four of us came together to form a company called Leadership Card. Card actually, well, stands also for our acronyms, which is Kiran, K, A for Ashish, R for Ram, and D for Devesh, but also stands for knowledge, accomplish, reflect, and develop. And that's the philosophy of this organization, which is into leadership coaching, training, and mentoring, because there is a lot of knowledge out there, but in order for you to accomplish, you need to reflect and develop on your skills so that you can go forward. And as I was mentioning, that I'm from the space of academics. I started teaching at the university in the communication department. So communication has always been part of my growth journey. whether it was helping people find their voice or helping innovators find their voice or startups leaders find their voice so they could pitch, it was all coming to the same thing. And that really got me to think about, what do I really believe in? And that motto also came during COVID again, that speak to be heard because your voice matters. And that's my motto for life. So that speak became my acronym, which I now use in my leadership coaching training sessions. It actually takes that forward, where it's all about S is your self awareness and your mindset mastery. P is for your presence and persuasive communication. Your E is your emotional intelligence as a leader. A is your authentic branding that you create that people want to follow you. And K is basically your key leadership competencies, which come together when you bring all of them in that space. So that's what really drives me to push work through, because it's like if you just teach people how to communicate, which is a skill, you're putting a bandage. But you got to go inside first in order to really think, where are those barriers blocking them from speaking? And when you address them, then only can you start working with people on the outside on, okay, this is your body language, this is your how you should position yourself. You got to do the inner work first.
Right. Absolutely. Can't agree with more than that.
Yeah, so it's all about the inner work, and I think you have to start with yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. And you did start with yourself, and
Absolutely.
you're emitting this energy into the space, which is not just concentrated in Malaysia and
Yeah.
Asia,
Yeah.
but it's emanating, and it's emanating into the outer space. So thank you for sharing that, Kiran. So tell me about this GBTC Trust that you started, and what inspired you. I mean, being in Malaysia, you're running such a huge trust, helping so many people in India. Like, how are you even doing it? I mean, to me,
Mm.
it's not even like playing in my mind at this moment. Even though I want to do something, I mean, like, I don't even know like how to plan for it.
Okay. So first of all, let me explain what GBTC stands for. It stands for Give Back to Community. So
Okay.
give back to community. And again, GBTC is also a byproduct of COVID.
COVID.
So, as I said, so much happened. The book happened, got to know my father as a community leader happened. From him, I understood that where are my leadership traits and how did I become a leader without actually having a formal title of a leader, which resulted in leadership card.
In a way, I think I should thank the cops.
The cops. Now you think about it on hindsight, yes, even
Yeah.
they have to be thanked for pushing me back into the to the inside the house. Because again, as I was saying, that I uh, as soon as I when I went into the virtual world, I started connecting with people. I met Siva, as I said. I met a group of speakers similar to online Toastmasters, and on that platform I realized that everybody was learning how to speak, and I said that maybe I can contribute, and I said, okay, let me also pick up. And the only thing that I know at this point of time is teach or communication or leadership, but maybe people don't need leadership or personality development. So I announced in that online forum that I'm going to be starting a group of like a small class of personality development and communication for people. And in return, I'm going to take 10 people, but in return, I want Guru Dakshina. And this Guru Dakshina is going to be 500 rupees, but you don't give it to me, but you give it to somebody in your a community, because we are all in COVID and there is so much need that if you can give that person that 500 rupees, that'll make me feel that I have helped somebody more meaningful. So in my class, there was a mentee. Everybody was giving it to different people. Or someone said, oh, I give it to my, Kambali Bai. I gave it to my driver. Someone gave it to the school nearby or whatever, like the kids. And there was one of my mentees, his name is Soumitra Dubey. And very interesting, it's a full conversation about him, but Soumitra is actually quadriplegic. Quadriplegic is that he is head down paralyzed, where the only thing that moves is his mouth. So through voice command, he actually operates all his devices. So I asked Soumitra, I said, Soumitra, where's my Guru Dakshina after the class? And he said, oh, sorry, ma'am, I couldn't send you a video. I didn't get time to record it because everybody was sending me videos of what they had done. He said, what I have done is using the 500 that I was supposed to give you. I'm actually a teacher and I teach visually impaired children. And because of COVID, they all can't go back into the classroom. So what I have done, I had an old phone. I bought some accessories and headphones and gave it to that girl. And now she's able to join the online classes. And I said, that was a moment where my entire life flashed in front of me, literally. And I said, I felt that I had made a difference. And I asked Somitra, I said, how many more kids are you teaching? And he said, I'm teaching 13 more visually impaired kids. And I said, well, okay, Somitra, my coaching and training, which I'm doing online, whatever I'm doing, we're going to raise funds so that we can give back to the community and we're going to help these visually impaired children to go back into the classroom. And that's where in June 2021, we actually started formally Give Back to Community GBTC Trust with 14 visually impaired children being given digital devices so that they could start joining the online classes. And I'm very grateful that from 2021, today we are not working with visually impaired children. Now we are working with children from under resourced communities, from under privileged communities. And we have adopted 60 rural schools and brought digital technology. And we are supporting over 7,000 children through these initiatives. We have another online mentoring program for meritorious kids. Every year, we teach them online, offline for 1 year, help them to get into these residential schools in class 6. And in last year, in 2025, we actually started our first initiative inside Ayodhya Jail, where now we are working with over 100 prisoners, helping them with learning, numeracy, and basic literacy so that these prisoners, when they go back into the community, they have basic respect for themselves and a skill set which can help them to get back into the community. So I would say I'm very grateful, as I said from the beginning, to people who came into my life and helped me find a path and support so many children. There comes to 2 points that Sandhya I'd like to just add is that one, we always say that we will do something for others when we have money. And that myth of mine was broken that as small as 500 rupees can change someone's life.
I'm just speechless. I mean, like, just by going back to the day when you rediscovered your voice and how you kind of like figured out, okay, these people are not letting me out of my own house. So why don't I do something instead of, just baking and all of that, which you also did,
Exactly.
and continuously figuring out and connecting with people, how gracefully you have like maneuvered the entire path, and how you took lessons learned from your dad and started putting together this huge energy back into the space. And I think that's so powerful and that's so inspiring. I mean, like, can I just come and give you a hug right now, Kiran? I mean, like,
Oops.
wow, amazing, just amazing, Kiran. I mean, I have huge respect for you. I mean, not just for the things that you do, but you're continuously like figuring out, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And
Mm.
not feeling limited that you're not somewhere where you want to
Mm.
make a change,
Mm.
and not thinking that, oh, okay, I don't have millions of dollars to make
Yeah.
something, but just get started, right? Yeah, taking that first step. Wow.
I will just add one more thing, Sandhya, that which I said. One was that we think that we need a lot, but I think that the game changer has been where you had initially asked me that you are in Malaysia and how is this happening in India? And I think that, again, it goes back to your own. Well, technology is obviously the bridge. And that's why technology has become such an important, integral part of GBTC, all initiatives, because we feel that technology can bridge the urban rural gap. It can break boundaries, all the boundaries before that. I will now take you to one little point which I had shared before, was that there was that point where I told you that, there was another story. And in 2012, I remember I was working at the university. And at that point, when I was asked to leave my job, or basically fired, I would say, was not because I was not getting the best grades or the student engagement forms were, it was like, well, let's just say organizational politics. But as a result, two things happened. One, took it on myself that I am stuck in this geographical space and there's nothing I can do beyond that. One. And the second part was the blame game on others. Oh, they are to be blamed for all my misery. And I would say that COVID was the game changer, because when COVID got us to go in the virtual world, I realized that all those boundaries, which I blamed, let's say, Malaysia for not giving me opportunities, were actually in my mind, because all these opportunities were always there. But we did not see them because we were so fixated on this length through which we were looking at it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think in life, whenever we are seeing a challenge today, whether I'm sitting in Malaysia operating a organization as big as supporting 7,000 kids or 60 of, obviously you have to have an amazing team on the ground, but without having that ability to see beyond your own geographies, your own boundaries, you can't expand. That you limit yourself with your own yeah, so I think that's what it is, that see beyond by actually finding reasons to go beyond. That's all I would say. And technology is an amazing thing that helps you to do that.
Yeah, and I think out of all this, if you ask me one word, if there is true intention, I think
You
the
nailed it. Yeah, you
you will-
nailed it.
yeah. So if your intention is so pure,
Absolutely.
selfless, and things will happen, people will get
Mhm.
connected, and you will automatically get energy. I don't know how it'll happen, but it'll happen, right? I
I
think
always,
what has been happening.
absolutely. People tell me that, ma'am, oh, Kiran, why do you have so much energy? I said, you give me energy. Well, first of all, cut off the people who create negative energy. Find people who give you energy, the
Yes.
positive energy, so that you can create even more positive impact in this world.
Yes.
So people actually are they're so such wonderful people in this world, and like you, who are trying to bring a change in the community through means. Everybody thinks what I'm doing is very small. It's not small. It is, like, again, a drop in the ocean. Mere, with my 500 rupees, maybe I would have thought nothing will matter. But that 500 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500 has today helped 7,000 children and 100 prisoners.
Wow. Simply wow. I mean, this is just a reminder that, like the avalanche effect, it just starts off with, a small,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
snowball, and then it can just move mountains, right?
Mm.
And it's just amazing, Kiran. So many powerful stories. I just wanted to have a lighter round before we close. And definitely, we are going to have multiple sessions in the near future. And maybe something in life next time that we're going to do when we
Yeah,
both meet.
absolutely.
So, just to, go on a different tangent, I wanted to do a lighter round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me, like, one thing people misunderstand about you?
Yeah, I think that that is a good question. I think that she's very arrogant. So my confidence sometimes comes around as she's not somebody that we should talk to. And I've seen that at the conference too. There's many people who will probably not come to speak to me, but not they get intimidated.
That
Yeah,
I think that's your aura. You
I think
only tend
so.
to attract the right
Overconfidence
people.
on us. I'm actually a very friendly person to all
Oh,
the
of
audience
course.
there. Please meet me. I maybe shy, and that's why I'm not coming forward. But maybe my shyness is being seen as arrogance, and that could be the reason.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of people think that I'm also arrogant.
I am great at one-on-ones, but you put me in a very big setting, it actually still shakes me. And I've
Yeah.
talked about it a lot that, yeah.
Yeah, but beautiful. I can resonate with you. So, okay, so that is for people who don't know you, right?
Yeah. Mm.
For people who know you,
Mm.
what would be like a one word that they'll use to describe you?
Okay, this is like getting too religious, but I'll just put it. My children have put my name as Mother Mary. Okay. Okay. I forgive, please forgive me, but it's my daughter's name on their WhatsApp. And
Ah,
that's it. But okay, coming to people, I think it's care, that I'm very caring.
caring. Yes. CK.
No,
That's your. I'm going to start calling you CK.
yeah, caring. Thank you. So yeah, but that's the thing. I care about issues. I care about people. I care about it, but not to that extent that I lose myself. I wouldn't say, but they
Yeah.
move me.
Yeah.
Things move me very easily. And then I can't stop. I have to do something about it.
Right. So before we close, I wanted to ask you about the documentary.
Mm.
What is a special project that you were involved in? I saw your social media posting and I'm like, wow, is Kiran like producer? She's into movies now? I'm like, what? Like, so tell me
Yeah.
about
Okay, very briefly. So we've already produced one. I'm one of the producers of the documentary called Kursi, and Kursi means a seat. And it's actually based on the one of our own students of GBTC, Give Back to Community, where everyone aspires to have a kursi in society. And how can we achieve that kursi? For us, it's through education. Obviously, GBTC is a bridge that is helping these children to find education and technology. But that was the moral of the whole theme of it, that education is an equalizer which gives opportunities and accelerates your life's career. So invest in education.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So now you're going on road shows, I believe, right? So you're playing the documentaries in multiple places.
Well, the film festival circuit has already finished. We've already completed it, and very happy. We actually were nominated. We had sent our Kursi a documentary to 5 festivals, out of which it was nominated in 4, such as the most prestigious one was actually the Jaipur International Film Festival, which is an Oscar nominating event. We were nominated. We did not win in that one, but we won the best story script. We got the jury's award at the Delhi Film Festival. So we have achieved this documentary, 22 minutes, short one, has won a lot of accolades and a lot of love from people, because I think they were able to resonate that education can help you with that kursi.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow, amazing. So you have a visual now, and you have a lot of things that are going on with the work that you're doing.
Mhm.
And I know that you also are into writing, right?
Oh, yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
So you want to share a minute about your book?
Which one?
Which one? I know you have multiple ones. You have them,
No.
show them. And I'll
No,
also
I
share
already
links.
talked about my dad's book in length. We have also we've written a book on women in women and self-care in academics. I've co-authored that. And now the upcoming one is going to be the Speak Influence framework, which is coming up. But I also, when as I'm also writing with the script for my next documentary, which is called Dastak. Dastak is going to be a big story, which is we worked on it last year, the research, and it is about the displaced people of Pakistan occupied Jammu Kashmir, and the stories of the survivors and their search or their want for identity. So why is this? Why am I writing about this? I'm born in Nepal. I live in Malaysia, but I am from Jammu Kashmir, and my father is also part of the displaced persons of POJK, Pakistan occupied Jammu Kashmir, and how, well, started with how how him or his family's contributions had helped in the resettlement of these people in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. But today also we are still there are many pending issues, and it's about the survivors. Very beautiful stories are going to be coming up, and
Yes.
yeah,
We're going to talk more about those
yeah,
things in the next
absolutely,
episode for sure. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
And this is the reason why I said not, but so many. Just in the last 45 minutes, we talked about at least five strong stories, inspiring stories, and more to come. So, before we officially close for today's session, anything that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah. I think the one message to the audience is that stay curious, be a learner, and keep pivoting and finding new lenses to see the same problem, because life may give you what they say, give you a lemon and now you got to make it into a lemonade. But there are also different ways of making lemonade. So find the way that works best for you. So that starts with being curious and being a learner. And that's what I am.
I think that's so, 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 so powerful. And you're so grounded. Who thinks of you as arrogant? Come on. It's like, come on, damn it.
You got to get to know me.
Caring Kiran with her magical aura, starting from the point where she actually lost her voice, only to rediscover something more meaningful, something more purposeful, and something very, very, very divine, I think. Maybe that's the reason why it happened. But I'm truly, truly honored to have you with
Thank
me
you.
on this podcast today, Kiran. Thank you so much for your time and sharing such inspirational stories. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you
So,
so much.
this journey is going to continue and you're going to leave a huge legacy. I'm pretty, pretty sure about it. So, wish you all the best, Kiran. Thank you so much for joining us today. To the audience, there you go. I hope you all got immense amount of energy just as I did. Thank you for joining us today, and I'm going to see you on another day on another conversation. Stay tuned and stay curious and keep blazing the trail. Thank you.
Thank you.